How's it guys, and welcome back to another video on Greg Dennis Reviews. Today I have a very exciting one, as I'm sure that you can see right here next to me. I've got the new Porsche 911 Carrera. For all you Porsche nerds, this is the 992.2 version, meaning it's the most up-to-date version that the 911 Carrera comes in. Now I'm sure you're just as excited to get into this video as what I am. But let's do some housekeeping first. Firstly, we're going to take a look at the outside. We're going to take a look at the inside. Then we're going to take this beauty for a drive. We're going to also do a launch control and then chat pricing and specification, and obviously get to the GDR verdict at the end. Oh, okay, now let's get into it. Okay, now before we get started, let's quickly move into our hypothetical world here at Greg Dennis Reviews.
Hypothetical world here at Greg Dennis Reviews.
I'm about to have a kid. That is real, but the hypothetical part is I'm gonna go and buy myself a 911 Carrera and tell my wife that this is the perfect family car. Now the reason I'm gonna tell her that is because, hey, it's got enough boot space for a pram. It's got enough space in the back for kids. It's got ISOFIX points as well, so I can have a child seat in here. It's got heated seats, it's got Apple CarPlay. I mean, it's a good looking car. It's a new car too. It's entry level into the range. And then if I rock up with this in the driveway, do you think she's gonna be happy?
No, God, please, no, no!
Head down to the comments and let me know. Yeah, so we've got a 911 Carrera on the channel, and this is why I'm excited. It just goes and goes and goes. Now these videos are in partnership with Change Cars, South Africa's safest online platform to buy and sell cars in South Africa. Now, let's get into the meat of this. The Porsche 911 Carrera. Up front, you've got storage because the engine's at the back. So at the back, you've got a 3-liter twin turbocharged 6-cylinder engine, but not just any 6-cylinder engine. This is a flat 6 engine. So the pistons and everything is moving horizontally, okay? Now the reason for that is that it also gives you a lower center of gravity in the car, and it also gives you a smaller, more compact engine to obviously fit into a car like this. Now this puts out 290 kilowatts and 450 Newton meters of torque, which is pretty substantial for a car that's not very big and not very heavy. And all of that power is sent to the rear wheels through an 8-speed PDK, which is Porsche's dual clutch transmission, which is absolutely sublime. I mean, you can't feel the gear changes, they happen instantaneously. You want more power, put your foot down and it drops. And it changes just as quickly. Now, I hope I'm not shouting too much because it's very loud in here, but for a good reason. I've spent enough time in EVs and plug-in hybrids and that sort of thing to have a very quiet driver's experience, but that's not the case here. And with this Carrera, it has been optioned with the Porsche Sports exhaust system. It has also got valves so you can make it quieter or make it louder, which is kind of linked to the drive modes too. So you can have it in normal, sport, or sport plus. Now you don't ever really want to drive this car in normal. I think you only want to keep it in sport or sport plus, because the only real difference here is that if you've got it in sport, it makes the car as aggressive and as loud as you want it to be, but it keeps the suspension still pretty livable. Whereas if you put it into Sport Plus, it gets as aggressive as it possibly can. A lot more sharper, a lot stiffer, a lot firmer, which could tend to be a little bit bouncing quite hard inside you, but if you're going on the track, that's perfect. But for me, from a daily driving point of view, keeping it in sport mode is absolutely perfect. It's soft, it's aggressive, it's loud. Oh, it's just so good. Now, some cool things to note about this new generation, which is the 992.2, is that you are actually getting the turbochargers from the previous gen GTS. So GTS being a higher spec of the 911 range after the Carrera. Now, the cool thing now is that you're getting those upgraded turbos inside now, the entry level Porsche 911, which I think is actually pretty cool. Now, I'm sure that you can see by the way that this car accelerates just from a rolling start, that this thing is really quick. And it is, because with this being optioned with the sports chrono pack, which is going to give you that really cool little chronograph clock on top of your dashboard, it's going to allow you to also track your lap times on a track. It's also going to give you the ability to check your tire pressures and all of that stuff. But what's even better is that you're now also going to be getting launch control, and you can send this car to 100 k's an hour in 3.9 seconds. Now, I wasn't going to get a 911 on test and not take it for a little bit of a road trip, which I did this past weekend. We took it through to Harderbeespoort, took a bit of a drive, took it on the roads, got to really enjoy some of the curves and things like that. I put the car into manual, which you do by clicking over here by the gear selector, and now it puts the car into manual. It's not going to change gears for you. So you're in full control of how this car operates, and you're taking full advantage of this lightning quick PDK gearbox where you drop gears. And that red line is sitting at 7,500 RPM. Now, this was an absolute dream to go and take on a road trip. The feeling of this car, it's almost like a go-kart like, and I say that because it is so direct. It goes exactly where you want it to go. The feeling of the steering is also really good. It is so sporty, it's quite firm, but it just feels right. The only way to really explain everything about this Porsche is that it feels right. Okay, now taking a look at the 911, it's still unmistakably a 911. It doesn't matter how many years back you go, the shape of the car is going to remain the same. Now, for this new generation, you're going to find some little nips and tweaks that have just made it feel a little bit more modern and something new. Something from the front that you're going to notice here is that you have also got an updated front end. So a new grille, where obviously this is where all the air goes in to help cool down the car and the oil and all of that stuff. But you'll see as I speak throughout the video, this ground clearance is definitely helpful in a car like this. It's not too low, so it does make driving it every day really, really easy. Now, something also that's very iconic about a 911 is also the shape of these headlights. Now, there's so much technology that goes into these, from the high beams to the daytime running lights. They look really, really cool. And then continuing around the front, you're obviously still going to find the Porsche crest right up front here. And obviously, you buy a car like this, this is what's going to make you so happy and really proud that you've been able to get yourself a 911. And then coming down the side here, also going to see these really good looking 20-inch wheels. Now, these are also optional extras that I'll obviously put the price on screen for you to see, but I think that these look really, really cool. I love also a silver wheel with a contrasting color combination. I think that it looks nice. Wheels don't always have to be black, in my opinion. And then continuing down the side of the car here, you're still going to find that iconic silhouette of a 911, that sport coupe that drops towards the back here, obviously where you're going to find that beautiful engine back here. But talking about that design towards the rear here, you're going to find that light bar that runs all the way around the back of the car there. It looks very cool, and that's becoming very iconic to the 911 now, and I love that they've got that whole light bar that runs across there. Down at the bottom, you're going to find your sports exhaust. Now, this is the Porsche sports exhaust that you're going to find here with the black tips. That is going to be an optional extra as well. Okay, now before we go take a look at the inside, you guys know the rule. This is a trust relationship here. So I'm going to ask you to please go hit that subscribe button, because I know a lot of you that watch the video aren't actually subscribed. So quickly, you subscribed yet? Because you know, you can only see the inside once you've done that. So should we do it? All right, I trust you. Now taking a look at the inside of the 911, and yes, this 1.87 meter tall body fits perfectly comfortably inside here. But I think what's more impressive than that is the fact that this is a completely driver-focused interior. There's nothing here that makes you question why is it there, or you should have done this or not done that, because they've actually integrated buttons and continued with buttons from generation to generation to make it easier for you while you're driving to do what you need to, because the most important thing in a Porsche is to drive, not to worry about how to work things around you. But yes, you do have an infotainment system and a digital driver's display. That's new from the previous generation. I know previously they would have had an actual physical dial which showed you your revs and all that, which you know, us enthusiasts do love it, but I can still kind of get behind this because you can still see it completely. What they have also done is given you an actual start button, where previously there was like an actual little toggle that you would turn to start the car, which was that physical engagement with the car to start it. I can get why people might be a little bit upset that that's not there anymore, but because I never experienced it before, I'm okay with the start button as it is. And then looking at this infotainment again, you have got wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It's got a reverse camera only. I would have liked it to have at least a forward-facing camera too, because you're low in a sports car, it's quite long in front, you can't really see what's in front of you. So yes, it's got the sensors, but you don't really, or myself, I like to see what I'm approaching in terms of a pavement, and I think that a front camera would have actually been a really good addition. But through the infotainment, you can also do your car settings by also going to adjust the chassis, the drive modes, turning off the start-stop system, which is also the first thing that I do. You can also go and adjust the extended spoiler if you want to. So if you aren't in Sport Plus mode and you want to just drive in normal with the spoiler up, you can do that just by clicking that button there. But they have, like I've said, made it very driver focused. So if you are driving and you want to do the exhaust or the suspension and things like that, you can come and just click those buttons as you need them to activate them, which makes it much easier. And then coming down the center of the console, you're also going to find kind of like a separated climate control, which is also really easy to use because they've given you buttons as well. So temperature, fan, dual zone, as well as being able to do your demisters. This is really well laid out and very easy to use. Separated volume, you'll also find volume here on the steering wheel, which you'll do on this side, move your track forward, and then on this side over here, you're going to obviously navigate everything that the driver will be seeing. So if you are wanting to adjust certain or each of the circles on the display, you click the little button over here and it's going to move you across, and then you'll be able to go and change how you want this thing to look. So if I go to the center one and change this, you'll see it's going to change the display completely. So you can choose what sort of display you want on any particular day to kind of, I don't know, match how you're feeling, show a big map, a full map. I think it's actually quite cool and gives you quite a bit of versatility, especially like a track focused one like this. And as you can see, this has also been optioned with the sunroof, which also hasn't really impeded on any headroom for me. But if you are wanting to go and adjust the settings for your sunroof up here, this is where you're going to open it, that's where you're going to close it, and this is where you're simply going to open or close the blind. And yes, it does also have heated seats for you and your passenger. And then to talk a little bit about the storage and practicality of this 911, you aren't going to find a lot of storage at all because you've bought a 911 and you know that. But the little bit of storage that you do have, you are going to find in the door bins, like you'll see over here, but it's definitely not going to be big enough for a water, a juice, or anything like that. But it does have little pockets that you can go and slide things into, where that's going to be slips for the tolls that you go through, or any sort of little storage for a cleanup cloth and that sort of thing. You can easily put that over there. But here you do have a little cubby, but again, not a lot of space for storage. You've got USB Type-C and wireless phone charging right underneath over here. But the most storage you're going to find is what's going to be here in the back. So a good thing to mention about here in the back is that you can kind of fit 2 small children, and that's about it. But another good point, and now for me being a soon-to-be dad, this does have ISOFIX points, so you can put a child seat in the back of the 911. So yes, you can carry children in the back there as well as car seats. So in my opinion, this is a very, very focused family car. And getting into those back seats is actually pretty simple. You'll come here, pull the tab, that seat's gonna pull forward like that, and you can drag it forward if you need to by using that physical little pulley over there. And then once you're in here, you can climb in or put a child in, put your groceries in, put the car seats in, all of those sorts of things. But obviously space is very limited, but hey, it's a 911. What do you expect? Now, this is gonna set you back 2.6 million rand. So, as entry level as what it is, 2.6 million rand is still a lot of money. But if you're in the market of buying a really special sports car, then I don't think you're gonna go wrong looking at an entry level 911 Carrera like this. And I'm gonna keep saying entry level because the way that this car performs is just outrageous. I've never driven a 911 before, so this is my first time driving a 911, and let me tell you that I'm absolutely blown away. It has met all my expectations, and I'm not just doing this review as a shout out to to Porsche, and how dare you say anything bad about a 911, but I'm struggling to find anything bad about a 911, except for the fact that I've got seats that I need to move around with the handle forwards and backwards. That's really the only bad thing that I've really found about this car. So you've got electric seats that you can move and recline and go up and down and that sort of thing, but they never really made the electric part go forwards and backwards, so you have to do that manually, which I'm really okay with. But you guys were making me find something negative to say about the car. I know, it's a car review. You always moan at us if we say that the car is perfect. So there's the one thing that makes this car 99.999% perfect, because there's that one small thing difference. And it just wants to rev, and the exhaust is popping and banging. I mean, to have to choose a car of this caliber in today's day and age, you really can't go wrong with choosing a 911. It's iconic. I think there's this sense of respect that you give someone who's driving a 911. You're like, oh, okay, I see who you are. You know the right things to choose in life, because when you're looking at other things like an F-Type, I mean, as much as I love an F-Type, it's associated with the brand of Jaguar that's now just gone fully electric and doesn't sell cars anymore. And then you've got Audi, who have also pulled the R8 from the range, so you can't even look at getting yourself an R8 anymore, brand new, because you can't do that. So it really is there for Porsche to kind of capitalize on the market right now, and I definitely think they are, because I mean, for Porsche to start the range off with this Carrera in today's day and age and not kill a base level like this, but to actually start it with the Carrera T or the 911T, I mean, that's going to have the manual gearbox. It's going to be pretty much this package, but with a manual. They could have started the range there at even a higher price, but they haven't done that. They still give you this incredible gearbox. They give you this engine. Oh, that sounds so good and so glorious. I love it. In this package, it's just, I mean, I take my hat off to you, but my hair's a bit of a mess right now. Okay, let's have some fun. The only problem is you've really got to keep your eye on the speed limit, because this thing picks up speed so damn quickly that you could probably find yourself in a lot of trouble. But keeping it safe, changing gears as you need to, you really can have fun on a daily with this car. And like I've said, with that adaptive suspension, keeping it in sport mode, it's the most ideal thing for this car. The ride out on the car is also, it's actually very dailyable. It doesn't scrape on anything. I've driven C-classes, standard C-classes on test, that where that front bumper scrapes literally on everything that you go through. Speed humps, driveways, but that's not the case here. So it doesn't scrape. The suspension is perfect. You've got space in the front through your frunk. You've got some space in the rear if you need to. So this car is completely dailyable, and I can now understand why I also see so many of them on the road throughout the week and not just being driven on weekends. And you might be interested to know what the fuel consumption is like in a 911. Well, on my little drive now, I've been driving, doing this little review for you, just enjoying it for about maybe 45 minutes now, just being out on the road, enjoying the drive. Also giving it a bit of horns, as you've seen, because I need to show you what the car is like. So I haven't been gentle on it, and I'm now averaging about 13.6 liters per 100. Which in my opinion, I mean, I'd take that any day. I've driven Chinese cars with 1.5 liters that are averaging 11 liters per 100 kilometers. So for me, this is downright perfect. But on the road trip, I was also looking in the realm of about 10 liters per 100. I wasn't able to bring it much lower than that. So there were sections where I did take it easy and just chill, and I was able to see those numbers slowly go down. But I do feel like, man, if you're doing a long trip in this, or just taking a nice easy little drive to work, fuel consumption is not going to be a big problem in this car. Now, if you're interested in getting yourself a 911 or any Porsche, then go check one out on changecars.co.za, South Africa's safest online platform to go and buy and sell cars in South Africa. Now, something that Change Cars is really proud of is the fact that they've got a feature called Beat My Quote, which is even trademarked, like that's them. So you can bring them a quote on any new car in South Africa, bring it to them, and if the dealership is not on their website, not only will they match the quote, but they'll beat it too. So go check out changecars.co.za. They're also a proud partner of Greg Dennis Reviews. Okay, and then for the verdict, in the form of the GDR test. Should you get it, drive it, or remove it from the list of cars that you're looking at? Now, I'd be stupid to tell you not to go and get this. So go and get this Porsche 911 Carrera, the entry level and stepping stone into the 911 range. This was my first time driving it, and it was everything that I thought it would be. It drives beautifully, it is comfortable, it is engineered to perfection, and I mean, the design itself is timeless, beautiful engine. There really isn't anything bad to say about this car. So if you've got the money to put into this German engineering, this beast of a 911, then go and do it. So thank you so much for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned a whole bunch more about the Porsche 911 Carrera. And if you did, please will you drop a like below, and if you want to see more videos like this and other car reviews, then please subscribe. And until then, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.